I really enjoyed talking to you. So today, we have an exceptional chance to receive a wonderful workshop. This is a unique workshop called EasySpeak by an experienced, skillful trainer. May I welcome Tony Winyard.
Unfortunately, the experienced trainer you mentioned wasn't able to make it. I'm here instead, so hopefully that helps. I'm going to tell you all about EasySpeak. Now, some of you might have blank faces. What on earth is EasySpeak? Is anyone here, apart from the guests, is anyone here not familiar with EasySpeak? Ah, well that's a start. Ah, so you're, okay. Well, you will be in a minute. So EasySpeak is a system that's been devised to help us with our Toastmasters journey, to make it a little bit easier, to help us to book speeches online, to book evaluations, to actually to help our progress. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever reason you join Toastmasters, you can also set goals using this system and many other things. And it helps with the mentoring system and all sorts of other things. So I'm going to kind of try to, the thing is, everyone's going to have different questions and different things they want to know about it. So it's very difficult to prepare this. So I'm going to if you've got any questions, feel free to fire them at me. And I just basically, right, because the internet connection here is awful. So I'm not going to try and actually go online to EasySpeak right now. I've just downloaded lots and lots of screenshots. I've got them on my laptop. And I'll kind of talk you through some of the ways that you can make EasySpeak easier for you. So that's my objective. Whether I'll achieve that is a different story, we'll see. So, as I said, the objectives, some of the basics, helping you log in with your username and password. All of you that are members should have received the username and password. If you haven't, if after this, after the meeting, if you could come and see me or Coralie, we'll help you out with your username and password if you haven't received it. Oops. We're also going to help, well, I'm going to show you about editing your profile, about viewing the current meeting. So when you go and look at it, the current meeting will be the next meeting in 2 weeks' time. And then you'll also be able to look at future meetings. You can even look at past meetings should you wish to. You'll be able to sign up for meetings, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. You'll be able to request a speech. If you want to book your, whatever speech you're on now, if you've just done your icebreaker or you've just done your number 10, whatever it might be, you can book the next speech. You'll be able to view your speech progress, and again I'll show you that in a minute. Your leadership track, so I guess you're all familiar with, there's 2 tracks. We have our speech progress, so you do a number of speeches in your competent communicator manual, and we've also got a leadership manual as well, so this will I'll show you some things on that. And we have our meeting email, so whoever is the Toastmaster for the evening sends out a number of emails, so I'll show you a little bit of information on that. Although, it may happen we don't cover all of this, because if some of you have particular questions and we concentrate on some areas, it may mean it's going to be very difficult for me to get through all of this in half an hour, essentially what I'm trying to tell you. And we'll see what other options you guys come up with, what other things you'd like to know about. So the first thing, this is the page you see when you first log on to EasySpeak. And you can't see it very clearly, actually there'll be another slide in a minute. The URL is toastmasters.org. There'll be another screen in a minute, we'll show you this. So getting online, you just put your username there and your password there, and it takes you into the site. Your username, as I said, if you haven't received it, please let me or Coralie know and we'll help you with that. If you forget your password, there is an option on here. You just simply click on the I forgot my password button, and then it'll give you some instructions on how to get your password. And then you just wait for your email, and it will have your new password will be contained in an email. And you can reset the password if you forgot it as well. And yeah, so I won't go, these are the basics. I'm hoping that all of you are okay with this. If not, again, come and see me. But I'm just kind of skipping through this. Tonto, for those of you who speak Spanish, has a slightly different meaning from those of you who know the word in English. No one knows it in Spanish? Oh, okay. Tonto means stupid. So yeah, here's the URL. So it's toastmasterclub.org to get onto EasySpeak. So once you've got, when you receive your username and password, which you should receive in an email, you should be receiving that URL, and then you just simply click on the link, and then you just put in your username and your password. By the way, for those of you, who here has never logged on to EasySpeak? So we've only, it's only a few, it's only 5 people, okay. Okay, so we're getting there, things are improving. Let's go on to, so part of this, what I'm showing you now, some of it's from a presentation someone else put together on EasySpeak, and then there's a few slides that I've added as well to kind of help with the process. So this is so your user profile. So when you click on your user profile, this is the page that you see. So it's got these various tabs up here. And so the first tab you see, it has your username and your email address and then your password, which obviously I blanked out here, but you can change your password. So whichever password you're sent, if you're struggling to remember that password, not a problem, just type in your own password so it's easier for you to remember. And you'll find you can get to this page by going to this link, the profile link, and then you can find how to edit your user profile. And I'll show you what's on some of these tabs in a minute. And so, well, this is on the personal profile. You've got obviously just your personal information. And there are some boxes on here, where is it? Oh, it must be on the next page, where, oh, you can, here. Item will be visible to the public, club members only, club officers only. So essentially what it's saying, if you don't want your personal information to be known to everyone, then if you only want the club officers to be able to see your personal information, then you just tick this one. If you're okay with other club members seeing your personal information, you tick this one. And if you've got no problem with anyone seeing it, then just put the public. Is that clear? If anyone's not following me, please say something. So you can click on the various tabs to see different information. You can put a graphic, you can put a photograph of yourself on here in the images tab, so that when people look at the membership list, your photo comes up. It's not necessary, but you might want to do that. Some people here have done that. This is going back to I'm going to go through. This is actually an old one, this is out of date, so I'm going to go through the menu and all the different options you've got in the menu in a minute. So let's skip through this, because that's the old one. So this is the actual meeting. So this is a meeting, obviously you can see this from a couple of years ago. It tells us who attended that meeting and who won the awards and various other information. And that was for a meeting that was taking place at that time. Let's get through some of this to get some more relevant information. But to sign up for meetings, there's various links on the side of the page, and you can just simply click on the meeting link, or you can click on the sign up for meetings link, which is on the left-hand bar of the page as you see it. And in here, so for example, so I just clicked in here, which means that I am coming to the meeting. So you would just click on the link next to your name, and as far as I'm aware, your name will always appear first in the list. It's not my name's first because my name begins with A. When you look on, as far as I'm aware, you could correct me here, your name should be first in the list. And then you would just simply click on yes, no, or if you're not sure, just put in a question mark. So when the Toastmaster, or it might be the VPE, sends you an email saying, we've got this fantastic meeting taking place next week, we've got various roles open if you want to be an evaluator, you want to be a grammarian or whatever it is, and we ask you if you could click the link to let us know if you are definitely coming. So this is what you would, when you click the link, it would take you through to this page. See, Jill's looking a little bit lost, but I'm hoping and then you would just simply click yes to say you're coming, or obviously no if you're not coming. And then you might see over here that there's some roles that are not filled yet. So it could be, for example, the grammarian role is unfilled, which often is the case. And maybe you fancy having a shot at the grammarian role, then you can just simply click on the arrow here, and you find your name, and boom, you're the grammarian. Now you can't do this with speeches. You can't do it with speeches because they have to be assigned by the VPE, which at the moment is Corridor. But for every other role, you are able to assign yourself. So for to be an evaluator, to be a grammarian, to be a Toastmaster, obviously not president, but any other role, you can assign yourself. Well, Peter can assign himself as president, yeah.
Except, and I'm not very well up on this stuff, from time to time, when you try and assign yourself something to do, forget that I'm president, but before I was president, if I can get my name to be opposite, for example, timekeeper, and I change my mind for a different week, I can't get it off.
Yes, you can.
I can't get it off. Alright? So there are times when it doesn't always do what it's supposed to do. And my question is, why is that?
It does for most people.
So it's no trace error, right?
I think so.
Okay, fine.
So is what you're saying is, say you sign yourself as timekeeper, but then you want to be an evaluator, so you want to change it from timekeeper to evaluator.
I found it hasn't allowed me to do that.
What you would do, and it's not something that happens most of the time, but from what I can remember, because I've never actually tried to do that, but I think what you would need to do, you go back into timekeeper, you go back into timekeeper, and you click on the arrow and find a blank space, and then click on that so that you then unassigned yourself as timekeeper, and then you could assign yourself to whatever role it is you want to do.
I shall revisit.
Because I think there might be a restriction on there for having you as two different roles.
Yeah.
I'm
Can
not sure.
I just clarify this? If you don't want to do the role, you want to change your mind, you decline the role you've taken, so you click on grammarian, your name's against grammarian. If you go to the right, where your name is, to the very right hand
Yeah, there's a no, yeah.
and hover your mouse over those icons there, one of them will say, I decline the role, and you click on that.
Right, well I shall revisit because that's not what
Excuse me, come back to that. Are you talking about here?
Yeah.
You
No.
click on the
Oh, no, to the side, to the side.
Here.
No, there's an option here which is not shown. Right, so that was requesting a speech. So when you click on the request a speech link, this option comes up. And then so here you would just put your speech title, and then this tab here, workbook, it should go to it now. So then for most people here who are on the competent communication manual, so if your next speech, for example, is your number 3 speech, then you would just tick in there. And then the last one is preferred dates, which is coming up now. And then you would just simply click on, so that's the different, these are the other manuals that you could do, but this is more for the advanced speakers. But for the preferred date, when it eventually comes around, right here, speech title, it's not going to let me go to preferred date. It doesn't like the date, obviously. Here we are, preferred dates. So then you would just tick on which date you want to do. So you can choose first, second or third option. So it could be, say for July the 2nd meeting or whatever the first Thursday is in July. That's when you would prefer to do your next speech. But then maybe your second option might be for the first meeting in August, and the third option might be the second meeting in August, or whatever it might be. I can see a couple of blank faces. Have I lost some people here? Yeah? No?
No?
Okay.
They're very clear.
I benefit from hearing that.
Right, okay, so if you want to book a speech, so you click on the request a speech link, and then on this one, so is this particular tab that you were lost, or the whole, all of it?
I was looking at the speech side of the workbook speech. What's the difference
Right.
between the two?
So the workbook speech, let me go back to that, so the competent communication manual is what you're on at the moment. So you would just simply, have you done your icebreaker?
No, not yet.
Right, so the first one you would click will be icebreaker. And then you would, in here you put your speech title, and then on the preferred date, which will come up in a minute, then you would just tick whatever date it is that you want to do it on. So it should come up on the next slide. Eventually it will come up. There we go. So obviously forget those dates, it will be the next 10 meetings or whatever it will be. And then you tick whichever meeting it is you want to do your icebreaker on. So the next one obviously will be shown June 16. And then if you wanted to do it there, I mean I think that meeting's already full, but you get the idea.
And you've got more than one speech at once?
Yeah.
So for you?
Yeah, so you could say book one speech for say next month, and then another one for 4 months, or 3 months, or whatever.
But you can book up your whole year?
You could do,
Another month?
but what happens is, just because you book a speech, it doesn't, well, because you click here, it doesn't mean you're definitely assigned that. It's down to the VPE to say, because the VPE has to,
Can you say what VPE
the
stands for?
Vice President of Education, which currently is Coralie and is going to be Elsa, you're taking over. The VP has to kind of control all the speeches and make sure everything's fair. And also we try to have a good balance. We don't want to have, say 1 week all icebreaker speeches, or the following meeting it's all advanced speeches. We try to have a good balance. So we've got some icebreaker speeches, some advanced speeches, and so we have a good balance of speakers as well. And the VP role is to kind of, VPE role is to kind of keep that balance. So just because you ask for a speech on the 2nd of July doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get that speech. It might mean you don't get your speech until the 2nd meeting in July or the 1st meeting in August or something. Because obviously there's 47 members. If everyone requests a speech for the 2nd meeting in July, we can't all get a speech on that day.
One other question. How do you get notified? So you make a request, how do you know whether you...
So once the VPE actually confirms your speech, I think you should get an email.
No, you don't.
You don't
I've just
get an
discovered this. You could discover whether you've got that by going into EasySpeak and seeing if your name's come up as the speaker. Ideally, the VPE, now they know it doesn't happen automatically, the VPE will send you an email saying I've booked you in for that speech on that date. But I thought it would automatically go to you and telling you, but it doesn't.
And something to bear in mind about the system, which I should have explained at the start. This is quite a complex system. And some people do complain about EasySpeak, this is so difficult and blah, blah, blah. Something to bear in mind is that this was put together, this was programmed for free by a Toastmaster member. So although people are complaining, so this would have cost hundreds of thousands of pounds if the Toastmasters organisation tried to buy this software. This was put together by a Toastmasters member. So yeah, there are a couple of flaws, but on the whole it's a hell of a system. So I would say just kind of bear with some of the things that aren't as good as we would like them to be, because it hasn't cost us a penny. Right, let's look at some other stuff on here. This is a request to speech, we've kind of gone through that. Right, for speech progress. Now actually, let me go to here. Skip a few slides and we'll go to here. There's a really good FAQ section on here. So if you are struggling with any particular thing to do with to do with EasySpeak, there's all sorts of, and it goes way down the page. You can find answers to all sorts of things on the FAQ section. So if you are struggling with a particular feature or something that you can't find how to do it, the FAQ will probably help you. Frequently answered questions.
Oh, okay.
So I thought everyone was, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, I should have explained, yeah. Jargon is something I should be aware of. So. Right, so this is, we've already covered this. Right, so this, EasySpeak training. There's a lot of videos on the site as well. So there's various ways of finding out how to do things. So it could be that you just click on the FAQ to find information, or you might just simply want to watch one of the many videos. I mean, there's tons of videos on here showing you how to do all sorts of things. I think there's about 30 different videos on here, and it's called EasySpeak Training. And I'll show you the link to find this. So this is the club and officer information, and I said that some people have got their photographs, as you can see. A lot of people have got their photographs as part of their profile, and this shows the officers in the club at the moment. This is, so when you click on the meetings tab or the meetings link, sorry, on the menu bar, these are the options that come up. So you can look at the calendar of all that's happening with HOD. You can see what happened at the last meeting, or the meeting for 2nd of June. Agenda for if you're looking from your mobile, you can look at a special agenda so it fits in with your mobile, and various. You can even look at training events for not just this club, but for all of the clubs in Toastmasters, contest events, and I'm just going to go through some of the menu options. So when you click on My Participation, or when you hover over My Participation, these are the links. So this is the Sign Up for Meetings link. View your speech progress, so you can see what speeches you've already done, and any others that you've got booked in. You can book this for you that are looking at it. If you haven't got your leadership awards yet, this will just say View My Leadership Progress, or CL, Competent Leadership. Or you can schedule speeches, which is the same as we saw before in the scheduled speeches, isn't it? My Communication, when you hover over that, you can go to the discussion forum, so you can ask the guy that built this system, you can ask him questions about how does this work, or could you do this, or so on. Or you could just simply ask someone from another club, oh, could I come to, I'm willing to go to another club to be general evaluator, for example. Or I'd like to go to another club to do whatever, you can do anything you like on a discussion forum, within reason. There's newsletters, there's a club mass email, but this is only for use by the VPE and the Toastmaster of the evening. And this would be if you did have any messages from other members of Toastmasters, that would be showing you've got a message waiting. When you go to the This Club link, these are the options. So you can see you've got lots of different options. I won't talk for all of them, but you can see the different options there are. You can look at the directory, you can go to the photo album. The one that's most important here is club charts, and I'll go into more detail on that in a minute. The go-to link, again, you can see information on other clubs in our area. You can search for a particular club. Say, for example, you're going on holiday to whatever country it was, and you wanted to go to a Toastmasters meeting, because there's Toastmasters clubs everywhere in the world. You'd be amazed at some of the countries that have Toastmasters clubs. If you wanted, I know Angela did this recently, she went to Singapore and visited many Toastmasters clubs over there. You could just go on here and have a look at if there are any clubs in whatever country it is you're going to. You can look for a particular person. You may have gone to another club and you were really impressed by someone and where they spoke, and you'd like to get in contact with them. Just do a user search and see if you can find their name. On the help options, again, this is where you find the EasySpeak video. And as I said, there's many different videos you can watch. You can contact the owner of EasySpeak should you wish to, and as you can see, there's a knowledge map, and there's the FAQ section, which are very similar information on both of those. And the profile, there's just 3 options there. You can look at your profile. Actually, you won't see club member view. That's yeah, you won't see that, so don't worry about that one. Right, so training videos, I mentioned there's many different videos. This is a page that you can see, and it goes down an endless number of them. Right, so going back to the club charts, there's a goals chart which many of you might find useful. So say, for example, you set yourself a goal that you would like to complete your competent communications manual within the next 9 months or a year or whatever time frame you choose. So you would just simply click on this chart, and then this is the page that you see. So you can see some people have set themselves goals, but most people haven't. So Andrew Hart, who doesn't come to many meetings, but he set himself a goal to achieve the competent communicator by 31st of August. Let's look at one that's still ongoing. So I set myself one today. I want to achieve my communicator silver by 30th of November this year. And then it tells you here, it says, so I need to be making one speech on average, every 5.2 weeks to achieve that goal. So it tells you how long it's going to take you to achieve that goal, and it gives you some other information here as well. It tells you how many speeches you have still to do to achieve your goal. And this is just showing the rest of the page. So you can see most people in the club haven't set goals, and I think that's simply because most of us aren't aware of this option. It's something you might want to use. This is the communications chart. So this is showing you how far you've progressed in getting to your competent leadership award. So again, a lot of people, I don't think many people here are aware of this, so not many people have things ticked on here. I'm aware of it, so that's why there's so many more ticks from me than from many other people. But this is, you can see how far you progressed on here at the top. It tells you, oh, so this one, oh, sorry, this is communications chart, sorry, forget what I just said. This tells you when you last spoke. And it gives you the date of when your last speech was. We'll come to the competent, this is the leadership chart, so this is what I was explaining just now. So you can see, so for most people here, it's just simply blue lines, which says that you haven't achieved those things yet. Whereas, say for Jill, so she got her, whichever, that number 1 in the manual. When you look at your leadership manual, it will correspond to the numbers in the manual, and she's got all of them, apart from this one. So you've nearly got your competent leadership. I thought you already had your competent leadership. Okay, well, it's not far off anyway. And it actually shows other people as well where you are with your competent leadership. This is roles, so this shows you what, for all of the members in the club, what roles you've done over the past few meetings. So that's the 17th of May and April, and then we've got the future meetings going on from here. So if you think, for example, I've been grammarian quite a lot recently, or I've been evaluated quite a lot, you can actually go to the roles by member, and you can see exactly what roles you've been doing if you want to get a bit more variation rather than always being evaluated or whatever it might be.
Excuse me, who puts that in? Is it you or the VP?
That's automatically recorded.
So what happens if tonight's GE wasn't listed and someone has now taken up that role?
Then it will be, because at the end of the meeting, it's normally David does it, someone goes in and closes the meeting, so they adjust things like that. So they would adjust David, take David off of the general evaluator and put whoever's doing it on. So I presume it's going to be you.
No.
No, okay, well whoever's doing it, yeah, they'll adjust that. And then so EasySpeak keeps a record of all of that sort of thing.
Right.
I do it sometimes as
Yeah.
well.
This is your participation chart, and this is showing, I can't remember what this is showing, but this is showing some data. Let's skip that one because I can't remember what that is. Role itinerary, so this is again just showing you some when you've done various things, how many times you've done various roles. Oh, this is the mentor page. So this shows who is your mentor and whether you've got any mentees. So Ade I'm Ade's mentor, as you can see there, and then corresponding, if you look at my name here, so I don't currently have a mentor, but I have 2 people who I'm mentoring. And so again, this page is not being used much at the moment, but again, I think it's because many of us are not aware of this page. So now that you're aware of it, you can go on. Obviously, Elsa is in charge of the whole mentor system. If you haven't got a mentor, I would urge you to get in touch with Elsa, because it's great having a mentor. It really helps your progress in Toastmasters in so many different ways. And then one good thing about having it assigned on here, so for example, I will now, if Ade or Ryan, who are the 2 people I'm mentoring, if they go on and book a speech or they do various things on here, I can then see some of their progress, so it helps me help them. So that's why it's good to have all of that information on here about who your mentor is or who you're mentoring. This is your communication progress. So this is from my particular page. So it shows the speeches I've already finished. I've already done my competent communication manual, as you can see in all ticks. And then it's showing you some of the other workbooks, some of the other manuals that I'm currently working on. So for whatever stage you're at, it will show what manuals you're working on. And it shows your goals that you set for the communication manual in the top right hand corner. And then same thing for the leadership progress. So this is what I'm currently working on for leadership. And I haven't currently set any goals for leadership, but if you do, then that will show there. Again, so going back to the user profile, so I'll go through each of these tabs. So this is the registration tab, which we covered before. The personal tab, which again we covered before. The preferences tab, you can just choose what language you want, time zone. You can ask it to notify you of replies. If someone sends you an email, then you'll automatically be notified if you put yes, or obviously no if you want some privacy. And you can put yes or no if you want to be notified about private messages if someone wants to send you a message. The communications tab, if you want to, you can put your social media links on there. It's not really important, but you can put your Facebook profile, your LinkedIn profile and stuff like that. Images, so this is where you would load your image. Attachments, I'll skip that because obviously that's just if you upload any attachments. This is just if you're connected, if you visited any other clubs, and sometimes it's really good to go to other clubs to see how people do things in other clubs. Maybe you want to be a general evaluator in another club, or just simply go along. It's a really good experience to see how other clubs operate, because all Toastmasters clubs are quite different. This is the forum I was talking about, so you see there's all different sections of the forum. There's even sections in different languages, in Spanish, German, French, and many other languages as well. This is the knowledge base, so it gives you some information that's covered in the knowledge base. And, well, I did manage to cover most of it. There's some slides I skipped, but we've just got about a minute left. Has anyone got any questions that I didn't cover? Or you could just come and have a chat with me afterwards if there's something specific. Angela?
I've just been to training session on EXCO, which is bookkeeping. And I'm wondering if we could have the company finances there so that we could look and see how many members we have and how much money we've got, and if we can afford how much the barbecue's going to cost.
I don't know. At the moment, it's not within EasySpeak's capability, so that's something we can talk about at a committee meeting, because that's a whole different issue. Angela?
No, I was just going to say it's very good, but when you're doing it like that, sometimes it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Is there any possibilities of having any copies or something, or so that we could look at it and know where we can find out?
Well, the easiest way is to look at the videos,
Yeah.
because that will explain things far clearer than I've tried to.
Yeah, sometimes what I'm thinking of, with a video or something like that, it's gone and it's said, unless you can keep on
No, but the videos you can pause. The videos, I think you can pause them. You can go back and look at them again. So the video is the easiest way to do it.
You were going to give us a link to the video.
Well, the link I showed you before, it was...
It's help options.
yeah, it's the help options.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take me ages to press.
And then the top left, it's on.
So when you click on the help options, and then video comes up there. That's at the top, so that's the second last link. Any other final questions? Sorry that I've kind of rushed through this, and I hope that I didn't go too fast. There was a lot of information to try to explain. But it is a great system, and it can make our lives much easier. And I'll shut up now and hand you back to your Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you. It was very useful and informative for all of us. I think we need to have a little bit of that maybe every session.
If we could have a sort of a refresher, if Tony's shown some people or what people how to do it, to make sure that we've achieved it or understand it.
Yeah, surely we can arrange some more informative educational session.
You know, to make
Yeah,
it
we can talk
different.
about it after.
Sure. So I'd like to welcome back our three guests there and our one wonderful guest in here. So earlier, before you guys come, we had our evaluators that they introduced their speakers, and I promised they are going to evaluate the speakers. Now the evaluation is the heartbeat of this session, because